Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. We have made it to Tuesday. You know what Tuesdays are? Tuesdays are Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka Day. I have been looking forward to this all day long. You just don't know. I was just sitting there in clinic like I just can't wait till I can get home and then get on to Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka so I can hang out with my peeps on the internets. So the first thing is happy Tuesday. Guess what you did? You made it to Tuesday. We are seeing each other above ground. And with everything going on, not only in this country, but the world, just being alive to do this and to watch this, that is a win. If you can do me a favor as you come in, say hello. Let me tell you about what we are talking about today. So, today we are talking about 5 reasons we need to talk about suicide. You might be like, Dr. Ericka, why are we doing this? Well, I am about to tell you. First, couple of housekeeping. First thing is, if you know someone that can use this, please share. Hit that little share button. Ding. The next thing, if you know someone that can use this, please tag them. The last thing is if you're watching it later, don't even worry about it. Just put hashtag replay in there and let me know that you were here. Can you do that for me? And for all of you out there that are watching for the very first time or watched me before but forgot, I am your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained double board psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am so passionate about helping you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my telepsychiatry, my books including Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, my speaking, and my podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka. I do all this to help people like you who show up for work, show up for family, show up for friends, and then find that you just don't really show up that same way for yourself and feel like you give and give and give, and then sometimes realize that you don't feel that poured into. I do all of that for people like you to help put you back in your life. So thanks so much for coming. Let's go ahead and get to it. Well, the first reason we were talking about this is Suicide Prevention Month. So it's September, Suicide Prevention Month. So as a psychiatrist and mental health professional, it would be a little awkward for it to be Suicide Prevention Month, and I didn't mention suicide at all. Well, part of the reason we're talking about this is suicide is the 10th leading cause of death. 10th, top 10. So it's something that's happening a lot no matter if we decide we want to talk about it. Number 2, suicide is the second cause of death, leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 34. There are a lot of people aged 10 to 34, and that includes our young people. So that just tells you this is something super serious. So there are so many myths out there, and it's time to dispel them. It's time to dispel all these myths that we don't need to talk about this, then it needs to be kind of a little secret. No, we need to get rid of this, and we're going to talk about why. So we're about to talk about why we need to actually talk about it. The first thing is to decrease shame. You might be, Dr. Ericka, why is there shame? Well, there's shame involved around suicidality in so many ways. People at times feel shame about having had thoughts of suicide. People have shame around having had a suicide attempt. People also may have shame if they're a survivor and someone they know has committed suicide and they feel guilty that they weren't able to stop it. People also will feel shame just because something like that happened in their family or someone they knew. So talking about it helps decrease shame and stigma, because the more it is a secret and the more there's shame. I have a old boss that used to talk about secrets and shame, is that these secrets have a way of eating up people, but it also gets in the way. Now, the other thing is you're not going to decrease suicide by not talking about it. So there was this old myth before that you don't ask people about it, they're thinking about suicide because it's going to make them attempt. Kind of like that old adage, if don't talk or talk to kids or ask kids about sex, that means they're going to have sex. And that's just not a legit reason not to talk about it. And the more we start having these conversations the more people start feeling comfortable letting us know if they're having those thoughts, the more comfortable you are if you start having those types of thoughts or struggle. And the other thing is sometimes people even have these thoughts, maybe seeing a therapist of some sort or a psychiatrist, and they may not even tell who they're seeing. And what's so important about talking about it is so that people start feeling comfortable to actually let people know how they're feeling and what's going on. Because at the end of the day, it's about being able to help. We need to talk about it so we can support getting help. That is so we can support others that may need our help, because there are times where sometimes someone just needs to be walked through the process, need someone to walk along with them, may need someone to help them find resources, or they may be struggling so much they need someone to actually call 911 or take them to the hospital. But I want you to be in the best place to be able to support. And the other thing is by talking about it and making people more comfortable talking about it, if this happens to you, then hopefully you'll feel more comfortable getting help around the issue. The next is to learn what to do. If we never talk about suicide, if you're either in a situation where you're having thoughts of suicide or you're in a situation and you know someone that is, without talking about it, you may not know what to do. You may not know what to do for yourself. You may not know what to do to support someone. So by having these conversations, it allows you to be able to know what to do if these situations come up. The next thing, number 5, is to decrease the freak out factor. Because some things just sound so scary or so out there, or you just don't know what to do. The more we talk about suicide and people feel more comfortable with it, and I'm not saying comfortable like, oh, suicide is cool, but just comfortable as far as you don't feel like automatically you have to freak out or hide. So I just want to decrease that freak out factor, which allows everyone involved to get the necessary help. And the bonus, because we talked about 5, the bonus is actually so more people can live. The goal of talking about suicide, and the reason we need to talk about suicide, is to ultimately prevent suicide. Hence, it's Suicide Prevention Month. Is we want to prevent more suicide. We want to prevent death by suicide. So if we're able to have these conversations, which allow people to get help, which may also allow people to get help sooner, and to allow you to support others and for you to get any kind of support you actually need, is this translates into people being alive and living and not dying by suicide. And at the end of the day, isn't that the goal? Well, again, I want to say, if you know anybody that needs this, please share it. You can also tag them. And the last is, if you're watching it later, don't even worry about it. Just put hashtag replay in the comments. We're going to do a quick rundown and get you out of there. So we're talking about 5 reasons that we need to talk about suicide, because it is Suicide Prevention Month and we want to prevent all of this. The first is to decrease shame, because there's so much shame around suicidal thoughts and suicidality itself. So we want to decrease that shame, which allows people to get help or feel more comfortable seeking help. We also want to talk about it because talking about it doesn't increase suicide attempts. So we're not doing anybody a favor by hiding and acting like it doesn't exist. We also want to be able to support getting help, be it you that needs help or someone that you know. The more we talk about it and feel comfortable with having these conversations, and the less stigma there is, then it puts someone in a position to actually ask for help. Also, by talking about it, we learn what to do if the situation happens to you and you're having those kinds of thoughts, or you're in a situation where someone you know is having those thoughts. That by having these conversations, it puts you in a better position to actually know what to do if the situation arises. And also, we want to decrease this freak out factor, because the other thing is, just think of it, if it's you. If you are having thoughts of harming yourself and you tell someone and they totally freak out, do you think you would want to tell someone if that happened again? Maybe not. So we want to not be freaked out. The other thing is, when we freak out, it's harder to take action. So by talking more, being more armed with facts, allows us to act better, and to not freak out. The bonus is so more people can live, because the reason we have Suicide Prevention Month, the reason we want to prevent suicide is so that people can actually live and hopefully get the treatment they need to live healthy, fulfilling lives. So thanks so again for coming. I really appreciate you checking this out. As I said before, please share it. This is some information a lot of people can really benefit from. Thanks again for your time. I also want to encourage you to, if you want a little bit more of Dr. Ericka beyond these videos, check out my podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka. Again, it's called Better with Dr. Ericka. It's on all podcast platforms. Search Better with Dr. Ericka, or you can just go directly to my website, scrolling below, betterthepodcast.com, betterthepodcast.com. New episodes drop on Tuesdays. We're technically on break until September 28th, but I do have a bonus episode coming out soon. So I'm really excited to bring that to you. You heard it first. It's going to be a best of. You're going to want it. This is a best of. So the last time we did best of the speed round, this one is a best of. So you're going to want to check it out. Please share the podcast. Also, please be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Give yourself grace. I know COVID is still wild and crazy out there. So please continue to take care of yourself. I want all of us to make it into not only tomorrow or the next day. I want us to make it into the next few years and be able to just look back on this time. But I want to encourage you to get any help or support you need if you realize that this is becoming too much of a mental struggle. And I'm not just talking about feeling super depressed, not wanting to get out of bed and crying all the time, but sometimes you just feel your capacity is fully stressed, like it's just stretched to the limit, like you literally can't do one more thing, or you're exhausted, or you just feel like you're nervous, or you get anxious with just the thought of leaving the house, or you feel like if you have to do one more day by yourself, it's just too much. Is that you don't have to, I know we talked about suicide tonight, you don't have to be having thoughts of suicide to actually see someone for mental health. So you're always welcome to come check me out if you're in one of the sites states I'm licensed in at askdrgoodwin.com. It's askdrgoodwin.com. But even if you don't see me, if you realize that any of that is you, please go ahead and seek help sooner than later. You deserve to have the highest quality of life. I don't want you to be stuck in just surviving. It's not fun. So that's what I got for you today. I will be back next Tuesday. As you know, Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka comes on Tuesdays at 7. Please follow and subscribe to the podcast, and then you will definitely get a notification when the new episode comes out. I can't wait for you to see it. And then I have an actual special episode, and you heard it here first. When the season 2 starts on September 28th, it's actually going to feature Dr. Delicia, and we'll actually have a show that's themed around mental health and suicide. So I can't wait to see you. I look forward to seeing you again. Until next time, have a better day. I will check you out in these internet streets. And thanks for coming and spending time with me. Have a great day.